The campus heartthrob confessed his love to me in front of everyone, twice. I rejected him twice with the reason, if you date me, you'll turn into a pig in my eyes. Chuck's mouth twitched. Are you playing abstract here? No, I'm serious. I have a problem, you see? I tried to explain to Chuck that I really have a serious issue. This has been a problem since I was very little. Back in elementary school, when we played house, and he said I should be the wife and he'd be the husband, I agreed. But the next moment, he turned into a pig in my eyes and scared me unconscious. My parents took me to the hospital to check my brain and eyes, but nothing was wrong. Later, I gradually found out that if someone has a relationship with me that goes beyond friendship, they turn into a pig in my eyes. Do you understand? I said, forcing myself to explain to Chuck. Chuck's expression was complex. He took several deep breaths and composed himself for a while. I was waiting for his response. Instead, Chuck cursed painfully and punched the wall, making his eyes redden instantly. Melissa, you're lying to me. Chuck held his injured hand and looked furious, but his anger was tempered by his flushed face and tearful eyes, making him look more like a distressed golden retriever than a threatening figure. It's not a lie. Let me explain. I tried to reach out to pat Chuck's head. He took several deep breaths, forcing back his tears. But when he saw the sympathetic look in my eyes, he couldn't hold back anymore. Melissa, if you don't like me, you could have just said so. No need to make up stories about turning into a pig to fool me. I won't bother you anymore. Don't worry. With that, Chuck stormed off. He walked away with a haughty attitude, as if to say, I'm never looking back. I scratched my head, thinking he might really have let go. That evening, while scrolling through videos in the dorm, I came across a video of Chuck sitting in a corner, crying his eyes out. It already had 30,000 likes. The caption read, "Bro got rejected by his crush. The reason was she said he'd turn into a pig." He believed it and cried for half an hour. I laughed for half an hour. Ha ha ha. I quietly opened the comment section and saw the pinned comment from Chuck. Give me 3 minutes to delete this. Below that, there were over 5,000 ha 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 comments. Learned a new rejection method. Ha ha ha, he really believed it. Some people even screenshot Chuck's tearful face and went wild. Handsome, don't be so picky about your orientation. If you're into guys, I'm coming to your school. Some of Chuck's acquaintances in school shared screenshots of the video's viral rate. Bro, some people are already hitting on you. I'm on your side, but could you live stream your crying later? I silently closed my phone, stared at the ceiling, and then sent Chuck a message. Are you okay? Maybe we could meet later, and I'll explain more. The reply was still typing, but no messages came through for a long time. As I waited, I reopened the video app and found another video from Chuck's roommate, posted 5 minutes ago. Chuck sat obediently on a chair, nervously clutching his phone, asking, "She wants to meet up. What does that mean? Should I go? How should I reply? Can I send a meme? Or should I be non-committal first?" Stop laughing. Chuck listened to his friend's muffled laughter, his face flushed with frustration. He rushed over, snatched the phone, quickly turned off the video, but his roommate still uploaded it. A while later, Chuck sent me a message. No time dot. Without punctuation, it showed his cold demeanor. I stayed silent for a long time, feeling both amused and helpless, ready to reply when Chuck sent a few more messages quickly. What time? Where? Actually, I don't really want to meet. If you really want to see me, I might reluctantly agree. I didn't rush to reply and quietly opened the video app, unsurprisingly finding another video from his roommate. This time Chuck clenched his fists and showed his friend the no-time message he just sent. Thanks for the invite, but I'm not a simp. Stop making fun of me. Go online and clear this up. Chuck's roommate gave him a scolding look and climbed onto his bed, drawing the curtains. The roommate sighed, looked at Chuck's computer screen, and recorded the messages Chuck had sent. The caption read, "Actually, I didn't really want to meet. The pinned top comment was, "Got punched for this. Thanks everyone. I'll keep updating." I couldn't hold back my laughter and liked that video. Chuck's message popped up. Yuri not replying to my messages, but liking my roommate's video. We met on the playground. On a summer night at 9 p.m., the playground was cool with a breeze that dispersed the day's heat. There were many people exercising and couples walking hand in hand. Chuck and I strolled around the playground at a leisurely pace. He was tall, half a head taller than me. Probably due to his regular workouts, his arms had noticeable muscles. When he was quiet, he seemed aloof and distant. Yet this very person, who secretly cried after being rejected, was walking beside me. Well, Chuck scratched his face awkwardly and started, "Don't believe the stuff my roommate filmed. It's all fake. There's nothing true on the internet. It's all scripted, you know?" He was so serious. If it weren't for the clear guilt in his eyes, I might have believed him. Thinking back to the videos Chuck's roommate shot, I couldn't help but laugh and asked, "Your roommate's filming is quite funny. Is he a journalism major?" Chuck sighed in frustration. "No, he's a psychology major." Chuck's tone made me laugh again. He intended to defend himself, but seeing me laugh so hard, he swallowed his words and laughed with me. Honestly, Chuck was good-looking, tall, and had an exceptionally good personality. He must have had plenty of admirers throughout his life. I didn't understand why he liked me. I was just an ordinary girl in college, with average grades and looks. If thrown into a crowd, it would take a few minutes to find me. I voiced my confusion directly. "What exactly do you like about me?" Chuck hesitated, met my candid gaze, and thought for a few minutes before answering, "I don't know." We stared at each other innocently. "Do you remember the time I walked into the wrong classroom, and you lent me your book and helped me sneak out the back door?" I recalled that incident. Afterward, Chuck came to find me after class and got my contact information, which was how we got to know each other. Chuck scratched his head. "At that time, I just thought you were nice. Later, I don't know when, but I started wanting to see you, stand by your side, and hold your hand." It was so mushy. I stared at Chuck's profile in disbelief. The summer night was hot, making me sweat and my cheeks flush. I quietly fanned myself to cool off the redness. Thankfully, it was night. I took a deep breath, trying to calm my racing heart. Chuck didn't know the turmoil inside me and kept explaining why he liked me. "I know it's strange, but when I see you, I can't help but smile. I want to chat with you every day, see your social media, and know what's happening in your life today." Later, I thought this must be what liking someone feels like. Chuck looked at me with such brightness in his eyes that even though it was night, I could see my astonished face reflected in them. "Melissa, I like you. I'm serious." He said it with straightforwardness, without shyness or concealment. It was as if liking me was something he was proud of. I felt panicked, my heart racing, and my palms sweating. Walking side by side with Chuck, a soccer ball suddenly flew towards us. Chuck caught the ball and kicked it back, then turned to me with a brilliant smile. "Melissa, give me a chance, okay?" My breath hitched. For some reason, I said, "Okay." As soon as the words were out, I regretted them, biting my lip in a fluster, unsure of what to do. Chuck, disbelieving, stared at me, then jumped up, shouting, "Oh my God, you agreed?" He rushed to me, not believing it. "You really said yes?" Afraid I might change my mind, Chuck quickly waved his hand to stop me from speaking. "You definitely agreed. I heard it clearly, you said yes." He held out his pinky finger for a handshake. I hesitated. "I really have a problem, Chuck. I'm willing to be with you, even if I turn into a pig." Chuck smiled broadly. My breath caught, looking at Chuck in the moonlight, feeling tight in my chest. The night breeze was so pleasant that I couldn't control my shyness. I felt like I was in a dream, where Chuck's smile was even more radiant than the moon. This was how we started, taking one step closer with each word and each smile. Under Chuck's hopeful gaze, I finally made up my mind and slowly reached out my hand to make a pinky promise with him. Chuck's face lit up with a huge smile, as if he was trying hard to contain his joy and suppress the urge to scream out loud. But the next second, everything around me spun. When I looked again, Chuck's face had transformed into the head of a fat, floppy-eared pig. My breath caught in my throat, my body trembled uncontrollably, and I couldn't even make a sound. Chuck, noticing my fear, tilted his head and leaned closer, asking, "Melissa, what's wrong?" Chuck's shoulders were now topped with the ugly pig's head. He was so close that I could almost feel the sparse hairs on the pig's face, and, when he spoke, I could almost see the yellowed tusks in his mouth. Maybe it was my imagination, but the disgusting smell made me want to vomit. I had to fight hard to keep from throwing up. Chuck, seeing my expression of repulsion and nausea, froze in place. Have I turned into a pig in your eyes? I couldn't answer Chuck's question. Overwhelmed by fear, I turned and fled without a second thought. I curled up under my dorm room blanket, my phone lighting up repeatedly with Chuck's messages. I didn't dare to look at any of them. I was a complete coward. I had no idea how to face Chuck after this. I spent the whole night unable to sleep, drifting in and out of dreams, repeatedly waking up in terror. In my dreams, I was running and screaming, desperately trying to escape. But no matter how fast I ran, Chuck's large hands would grab my throat and drag me back into the darkness. In my nightmares, Chuck's face and the pig's face appeared simultaneously, asking in unison, "Melissa, why are you afraid of me? I haven't done anything wrong. Why did you run away?" After a night of terror-filled dreams, dawn finally broke. My roommate Shannon cautiously approached and asked, "Melissa, did you have a nightmare last night? I heard you screaming." It's nothing." I forced a weak smile. "I didn't sleep well last night." She looked at my pale face and, seeing no other abnormalities besides my pale complexion, handed me her phone. "What happened last night? I saw a lot of posts online with your photos and videos." I froze, glancing at her phone, and was shocked to see a video of Chuck that had nearly 1 million likes. The video was short, just a few seconds, but it included all the interactions between Chuck and me from the previous night. I stared at the beginning of the video, where Chuck and I were somewhat distant, slowly inching closer, then facing each other with smiles that stood out clearly in the night. My silhouette hesitated, and then slowly reached out to make a pinky promise with Chuck. But the next moment, I seemed to have been frightened by something enormous, trembling all over, backing away step by step, turning and running away under Chuck's gaze, leaving him standing there, looking foolish. It seemed like Chuck wanted to run after me but restrained himself, standing there with his head lowered on the playground, unmoving for a long time. The caption for the video from Chuck's roommate read, "I told you she's a bad girl," but he didn't believe it. Now look, she really played him for a fool, making him look like a dumbass wandering back to the dorm. Chuck's roommate had an excellent sense of humor, and the video, paired with the perfect caption, went viral instantly. Several related topics quickly appeared on the trending list. "I really turned into a pig." "Fastest breakup record ever." "Listen to your bro's advice. Stay away from women." "This is so absurd. How could she come up with such a bizarre reason for breaking up?" "If you don't like someone, don't agree to be with them." "Those who play with others' feelings deserve hell." Many marketing accounts shared Chuck's roommate's story. People lamented how Chuck was so pitiful and mocked my reason for breaking up as absurd and laughable. Many comments said I didn't deserve Chuck and that Chuck deserved better. Some even turned my panicked escape into a darkly humorous video, which also garnered a lot of likes. Shannon carefully asked, "Do you want to clarify anything? It seems some people who know you are revealing your real information in the comments." I scrolled through the trending topics, growing paler with each click, and finally forced a bitter smile, feeling somewhat resigned. Forget it, there's nothing to clarify. The video didn't say anything wrong. I knew I had a problem. I was still naive enough to think everything would be fine. The reality was, the moment Chuck became my boyfriend, he turned into a pig in my eyes. Not the cute little piglets, but those ugly, stinky pigs from a pig farm. I couldn't imagine how hurt Chuck must have been when I ran away last night. Maybe he cried under the covers again. I handed Shannon back her phone, trying to muster a brave smile. "I'm fine, don't worry about me. This kind of thing will blow over in a day or two. No one will remember it then." I tried to comfort her, and myself, repeating, "It's okay, it's okay, it's okay." Shannon sighed and left, while I buried my head under the blanket, trying to escape all the external attacks. But before I could hide properly, my phone screen lit up again. I checked it to find Chuck's numerous messages. The latest one was a photo of his roommate's account. He had deleted all the videos of us, including the one with 1 million likes from last night. Sorry, I didn't know he would take those videos. Where are you? Can I come find you? Seeing that message made my eyes well up with tears, and I felt a strange urge to cry, but I didn't reply. I turned off my phone screen and curled up under the blanket.
To be continued, 500 likes and I'll drop the next chapter as soon as possible.